Hey guys, happy Thursday. I hope you have a wonderful day, okay? Today's throw may be a little bit long, only because I have so many messages from here, okay? So just stick with me. It's going to apply to all of you differently, okay? But I think that the message is really strong here, and I really think it's going to help you in October too, from what I'm already feeling with the energy. I don't think it's going to be negative, so don't think, oh, another month of hell, right? I think that what's happening here is that on a collective, we've kind of created a living hell for ourselves, right? In many different facets, but I'm going to pare this down to a daily throw, and we'll take it at that, okay? I think that what's happening here is there's a need to rebalance the things that you're doing in your life, right? Where you're going, what you're doing, where your time is going on a day-to-day basis, okay? What your qualifications are, what they're not, where you really want to go, where you've been. I think that, you know, much of life is midstream, right? It involves meeting the shadows that we've got, you know, course corrects, reversals, do-overs. Basically, everything gets, you know, everywhere and nowhere at the same time, I guess is where I'm going with this, okay? The key here is to balance your life in general. Get your mind going in the right spot. Realize that, you know what, sometimes things are out of our control, right? What is that? You know, control the things that you can, and let the other things go. And that's what you've got to learn to do here. I think that when we try to stronghold things, and when we try to be everything for everyone, and don't give ourselves enough self-care, right, the train goes off the tracks. And I think that that's what's happened here, because, you know, we've basically created for our lives as a whole, right? Everything is disposable. So it's no wonder that people don't know, what do I hang on to? What do I not hang on to? You know, I'll marry this person because, hell, if it doesn't work out, I'll just get divorced and marry someone else. We go through things just not valuing anything, right? Nothing has real sustainability because everything is disposable, right? So I think that over time what happens is it trickles down to the things that, you know, really come back to, who am I? Right? When everything can be dispensed and disposable, why aren't I? Right? What are my values? Why should I value myself? I can just be replaced, right? When you've got an anchor in your own life and you're living for yourself, that's when you can be not only a light to yourself, but to other people too. And I think there's a mismatch here in basically approach the things that you can change in your life, right? The main takeaway here is we need to always be forward moving, right? And we are, even when we take side trips and you know, get disappointed, or someone disappoints us, or something doesn't come through. We need to realize that all of that stuff serves a purpose, right? But we need to keep focusing on going forward. We can't just drop anchor. We can't stop. We can't feel defeated, right? I mean, we can, but the key here is to keep life going in motion. But that doesn't mean always having your foot on the gas, right? It means sometimes I know I have, you know, what I can do in this, and I know when I've got to, like, step back. I've got to take my foot off the gas, and I've got to just let the universe do its part now, right? We're responsible for doing the part that we can do, but we're also responsible to know that we need to step aside sometimes and let the universe take over from there. We don't need to be into everything, trying to control everything for every outcome that we want, right? Because that's when we're going to end up with things that we forever feel like this, right? What you're fighting for there is yourself, but you're pulled in so many different directions, you don't know really, you know, who you are or where you're going anymore. So that's what this throw is really about. It's really about just looking at, you know, I want to say this too, and this is really, you don't need to know where I'm coming from with this, but just try to listen to what I'm saying, okay? Because I know this to be true, okay? A lot of times what we do is we defeat ourselves by the things that we tell ourselves, right? The cultures we come from, our limitations, what people will accept, what society doesn't accept. We're kind of, you know, we know where we want to go, but we're, how do I say this? Okay. Sometimes we have, our life is about consistent change, right? But sometimes it's to a degree where, you know, incarnations and reincarnations don't just happen when one soul dies and leaves and another one comes in. Sometimes we get these through our whole lives. That's you know, that's the divine coming into our lives. And when we pray for something, right, it doesn't always show up how we want it to be. It can show up through courage. It can show up through clear thinking. We can wake up the next day and think completely different, see the world different, see ourselves different. I think that who we see ourselves on the inside is very rarely who's looking back at us in the mirror, right? But that inside is where we can retweak things, right? It's where the divine comes in when we give it enough space, and it gives us the courage to go in the directions that we think we can, right? Illness is dis-ease on the inside, right? It shows up on the outside. So we can do that in the reverse too, okay? I've seen this happen myself, literally, okay? We can be reincarnated directly into the shell of someone, and it spurs that person to life, right? And then, you know, all bets are off. Anything is possible at that point. And that's what the divine coming into your life is about, when you give it the space to do that. When you know that, you know what, I've done all I can do in this situation, and I'm not going to involve myself in the things that don't concern me, but I've done all I can do here. So now I'm going to ask for some guidance, and I'm going to sit here. And I'm telling you, it can really come in the form of your life just feels like it's reincarnated. You just, doors start to open for you now. You're more secure. You're more confident. You know, you don't go off the rail, because along the path here too, we've really lost track of strength and discipline. Good old-fashioned strength and good old-fashioned discipline, and realizing that you need to hold yourself accountable, and you don't always get the things that you want when you want them. And sometimes you just don't even get them because they're not meant for you, right? It's about accepting those things and being okay with that, and not spiraling into some, you know, I'm not going to get out of my bed because I can't have this person, or I don't have a job that supplies me with this, so I'm just, what's the use, right? It's trying to get back to basics, and realizing that, you know what, some things just don't come together when we want them to. You know, but I'm going to be disciplined, and, you know, I married this person, so I'm going to make it work. You know, just point blank discipline is what it comes out to. I'm not using these as examples, of course, but you're all adults. You know where I'm going with this. But there's a real strong message through here that there's a major disconnect here, and the key is in here. It's in knowing that I've had shit things happen in the past, but they've been for a reason. And I'm going to use that and be grateful for them and go forward, right? This is also about giving thanks. You know, it's about being appreciative. It's about taking care of the things that you've got and letting them go the distance. It's not about replacing every single thing, because that's what's happening here. It's a spiral effect where nothing matters, people don't matter, things don't matter, and this is what's happening, right? So do yourself a favor. Realize that the things in the past are in the past, but they're serving a purpose. There is a future. You've got to just repetitively keep going forward. Don't check out of life, right? So that's what I think is happening here. I hope that I understand this. I mean, I hope that I could explain this the way that it came through. Okay, it's basically a vision of someone just sitting there, and just really, you could see it's a shell of, it was a young person vibrant on the inside. I could feel that energy, but on the outside it was someone that looked like they were 100, right? But that wasn't the case. That's just, sometimes life can beat the crap out of you, where you really just feel like you're a shell of a person. But when you ask for help and divine guidance, and you are grateful for the things that you've got in your life, right? That's when the divine comes in and it really just rejuvenates every single cell in your body. And that's what's happening here. So listen to this again. Take heed of what I'm saying. I pray that I conveyed this in a correct way, but it's about being, reborn in your life every day. Every day we get a chance to do it over and to correct it and to go forward, and just ask for guidance and be thankful. Be thankful and be honest and be a good person. Show up for yourself and for others, but realize that, not everyone is put in your place to, for you to save them. You've got to pare that back to really where your resources are going, meaning your time, your energy, your focus, your balance, and knowing again when you need to take your foot off the gas. And that doesn't mean check out of life. It means I just can't do anything more in this situation. I trust that it'll turn out how it's supposed to turn out, and I release it. And that's what it is, okay? So there you go. I hope that I helped you in some way. Have a wonderful day. If you need a private reading, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to do anything for you, okay? Thank you so much.